examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the like.
Look at the algebraic expression. Welcome, it's a wonderful afternoon. This is your favorite learning platform, GMF. We are right here. I want just to sincerely apologize for bringing this lesson late. But however, I'm happy that we are together today, and this is your teacher, Teacher Kaira. And I'm here with you with Civic Education Grade 11. Okay, and I believe you are ready for today's lesson. Okay, today we are going to look at the Zambian Bill of Rights. The Zambian Bill of Rights. So what is it that we expected to learn at the end of this lesson? Number one, we should describe the Zambian Bill of Rights. Thereafter, we are going to identify the elements of the Zambian Bill of Rights in the Zambian Constitution. All right. I believe you have your notebook there, you have your pen there, and also don't forget to share this lesson to your friends, your colleagues out there. Are we together? So let's get started. So when you're talking about the Zambian Bill of Rights, what comes to your mind? All right. The Zambian Bill of Rights, basically, it's a list of fundamental rights, okay, and freedom that are covered in Part 3 of the Zambian Constitution. And you know that the Zambian Constitution is the supreme law. Yes. So it is covered under Part 3. If you remember in grade 10, topic number 1, the Constitution, we are looking at the structure of the Constitution. The Constitution, the first part of the Zambian Constitution talks about the sovereignty of Zambia as a sovereign state. Thereafter, Part 2 looks at the citizenship. Then Part 3 now talks about the protection of fundamental human rights. So that is what we are going to continue looking at. So we are saying that the Zambian Bill of Rights is a list of fundamental rights and freedom covered in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia, which is the supreme law of the land. So let's write together. We are saying the Bill of Rights is a list of fundamental rights and freedom covered in Part 3. I'll use the Roman numerals. Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia, which is the supreme law of the land, which is the supreme law of the land. Are we together? So I want you to start visualizing. I want you to start appreciating the value of your rights. As an individual, we are covered in the Zambian Constitution. You remember what a constitution is, right? So we are saying that the Zambian Bill of Rights is a list of fundamental. When we talk about fundamental, we are talking about the basic rights. You as an individual, especially those who are watching this lesson who are Zambian, because we have actually we have limited ourselves to this topic based on Zambian Constitution. Are we together? So we are saying that these are fundamental rights and what? Freedoms covered for you and me in our Zambian Constitution. Are we together? So let me just trace back the history, where it is coming from. This is not starting from, it did not start now, it started actually way back. So the history of the Zambian Bill of Rights gets back to 1964. So we are saying that the Zambian Bill of Rights was first incorporated for the first time in the Northern Rhodesia Self-Government Constitution of 1963. It was reproduced with minor amendments in 1964 in the multi-party democratic constitution, which is the democratic what? Independence. If you remember, in 1974, in the Chona Commission, recommendations were set that the reintroduction of one multi-party democracy, which was affected in the following year in 1973, we see that this amendment now, it limited the rights and the freedom of people or citizens of Zambia. Now we see now in 1991, which is the Mvunga Commission, we see the reintroduction of multi-party system, which included now the rights of children. Are we together there? So we see now also in 1996, the Mwanakatwe Commission also had some few amendments, and also in 1996, we had a few amendments, and then also in 2005 we had the Mwomba Commission, which also included some social, cultural, and economic rights. Are we together? So we can see that these human rights have got a history behind, which tells us that we as Zambians, we need to enjoy the privileges, we need to enjoy our rights as Zambians. Are we together? So now, let us look at the elements of the Zambian Bill of Rights. I'm sure you have copied down these notes. Are we together? All right. If you are behind, you can still play back this video. It will be there on your social media. The elements, or what constitutes the Zambian Bill of Rights. Elements. Okay. So the elements of the Zambian Bill of Rights. So the current Bill of Rights forms Part 3 of the 1996 Constitution, covering articles from 11 to 32. We are saying that the current Bill of Rights forms Part 3 of the 1996 Constitutions, which has got articles from what? Articles from 11 to 32. So we might not finish everything today, but where we end, we'll continue in the next lesson. But let's start. Are we together? So article number 11. Article 11. So when you look at the Article 11 of the Zambian Bill of Rights, the Article 11, this is the preamble, which is a general declaration of the rights of every person in Zambia, which is entitled, regardless of your race, your place of origin, political. So it introduces us of our fundamental rights that we should enjoy as Zambians. These rights are there regardless of your race, regardless of your place of. This is the preamble. This is the preamble, which is a general statement, which is a general statement, or let me say general declaration. Let's use the word declaration there. This is the preamble, which is a general declaration of every person's rights. Every person's rights in Zambia. Okay. Regardless of race, regardless of place of origin, regardless of political opinion, color, and belief. We can also look at the religion aspect, sex, and marital status. Are we together? Whenever I talk about rights as Zambians, I look at the Constitution because it is our supreme law. And our Constitution defends us. No one should intimidate me based on my status. As long as I'm a Zambian, the Zambian Bill of Rights has covered me, because it talks about the general declaration of me as a Zambian, you as a Zambian, to enjoy your fundamental rights. So we are saying that Article 11 looks at the preamble. The preamble is the what? The introduction. Are we together? Are we together? All right. Now the next part, it looks at the Article 12. So I'm taking my time so that you can understand what we are talking about. So Article number 12. Article number 12 looks at the protection of rights to life. It looks at the protection of right to life. Are we together? So this right is described as the supreme human right because all rights are dependent on it. You have the right to life. No one should threaten your life. No one should intimidate you as a Zambian. So we are looking at Article number 12, which looks at the supreme human rights because all rights are dependent on it. It protects all forms of human life, including of that of unborn baby. What are we saying? We are saying that even an unborn baby has the rights to live. So when you meet as a boy and a girl, you meet together, whatever that you are going to develop, that person has got rights. That's why the Zambian law, when you abort that child, we are going to say you are a murderer. Because that child has got what? Rights. So it looks at the protection. So be careful in whatever that you do in life. It also gives government and individual the obligation of preserving and protecting human lives. What are we trying to put across? We are saying that every person has got the right to live as a Zambian. So Article number 12 looks at the protection of human life. Are we together there? Let us look at Article number 13. That is number 2. Article number 13. Article number 13 looks at the protection of right to personal liberty. Protection of rights to personal liberty, which is very, very important. Because every person is free unless one has broken the law and he is in custody of police. We are there to protect our lives. We are there to protect each other. Even in this time, as you walk around, you see people fighting. That is not correct. And we need to leave that duty to the police. Because those are the agents that are responsible of law or enforcing the law or keeping peace. You and me, our duty is to protect personal liberty. When we talk about personal liberty, one has got the right to express him or herself, even in class. If your friends have got an opinion, leave them. I've seen a lot of people, when someone wants to express their opinion, these people start laughing. Why are you laughing? We are there to protect what? The rights to personal liberty or the rights of other people. So we are saying that every person is free unless one has broken the law and is in custody of police. The police will do their job there. That's article number 13. Let us look at article number 14. Now, article number from slavery and forced labor. We are free as Zambian. Just some few weeks ago, we were celebrating the life of our founding father, Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda. May his soul rest in peace. He made sure that we should live as free people. Free men we stand. That's our song in the Zambian national anthem. So, this one is the state under obligation by international covenant on civil and political rights to prohibit by law any form of slavery and practice such as human trafficking. Okay? Exploitation of children. Okay? Enslaving other people, even in marriages. We are looking at people should not live as slaves in our land. We are no longer slaves. We are free as people. So our Zambian Bill of Rights talks about that. Actually, our Zambian Bill of Rights takes most of these provisions from the international covenant on civil and political rights. On the international covenant on civil and political rights. So it talks about our freedom from slavery and also forced labor. Is that okay? Article number 15 looks at the protection from inhuman treatment. Article number 15 looks at protection from inhuman treatment. Now, this should come to our mind that we are also what we call brothers keeper. Are we together, class? We are brothers keeper. So the use of all forms of inhuman or degrading treatment, torture, such as corporal punishment, is prohibited. That's why in schools today, there is no corporal punishment and everything. No one should mistreat you. Neither you should not mistreat even your friends. Are we together? So we are looking at protection from inhuman treatment. If you see someone who is mistreating you, of course, you have also to be very mindful. There are times that we do not understand certain things in our environment, and we think it is what? It is they're mistreating our lives. No. Even at home, if your parents are correcting you because you are doing something wrong, they are not mistreating you. But I'm not saying they should beat you, they should get something to hammer you. What I'm saying that whenever they're correct. Article number 16. So let me erase all this so that we can follow it together. Are we following this lesson? Very good. So we are talking about article number 16. That's number 6. Article number 16. So article number 16 looks at the protection from deprivation of property. Protection from deprivation of property. Deprivation of property. What are we talking about, class? Now, we are saying that this article protects individuals from being deprived of their property except in cases permitted by law, such as failure to pay tax, all right, or rates or dues and other things. Remember that we have the mandate to own property. We have the mandate to have things in our possession, but we also need to make sure that we comply with the law. If you are not paying tax, the law will come and take its course. If we are not paying rates, if we are not remitting what we are supposed to pay to the law will. Article number 17. Now, article number 17 looks at the protection for privacy of home and other property. We are looking at protection of privacy of home and other property. All right. So what are we saying under this article, class? We are saying that this article protects the privacy of individual homes and other property. It prohibits the search of a person, his or her property or entity or premises unless permitted by law. No one should intimidate you. Even if you have committed an offense, let the police come with what? A search warrant or the warrant of arrest. If they don't have those papers or those permits, they are not allowed to invade your home or to search or to do anything at your premises. Why? Because you are covered under article number 17, which looks at the protection of privacy of home and other property. Are we together there? I want all these things, as we are discussing these things, it should channel in your system to say that you as a Zambian, you have the privilege. You as a Zambian, you have the right to enjoy your privileges here on Zambia. Are we together? So we are looking at that. Now, class, looking at time and due to time, all right, we are going to end on article number 17. I want you to go and read article number 19 up to 32. Like I've said, that the Zambian Bill of Rights covers articles from 11 to 32. Are we together? So we've been looking at the Zambian Bill of Rights. We say the Zambian Bill of Rights, these are a list, or it's just a list of fundamental rights that are covered in the part 3 of the Zambian Constitution. If you look at the Zambian Constitution of 1996, it protects us. Okay, it looks at the welfare. We are looking at the protection of these fundamental rights. Then we have looked at the elements that makes up the Zambian Bill of Rights. Article number 11 that we looked at, it talks about the preamble. Then article number 12 looks at the protection of rights to life. Article number 13 looks at the protection of rights to personal property. Article number 14 looks at the protection from slavery and forced labor. Then article number 15 looks at the protection from inhuman treatment. Then article number 16, we looked at what? The protection from deprivation of property. Then article number 17, we looked at the protection of privacy of home and other properties. So we have come to the end of this lesson, but I'm encouraging you to read further. I was just giving you just a summary of some points. You can get your book. We can update our what? Our minds. Thank you very much for joining us, and don't go away. Madam Sabatemba, she's coming with chemistry. I'm sure you are ready for chemistry. And don't forget, this is your favorite learning platform, Harvard. Just check our social media platform, Litovia TV, on YouTube, and also channel 96 on Topstar Decoder. Just follow us. Our lessons are live.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Okay. It is just okay. Sound.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Okay. Welcome, boys and girls, to our chemistry class. And today we'll be looking at the characteristic properties of acids and bases. So this is what we're going to look at today, and our main focus will be acids. That's what we're going to focus on. Then on a later date we'll look at bases. So now, most of us, when we hear the term acids, we think of something that is very dangerous and needs to be handled carefully. But you should know that there are acids that we consume every day. An example is ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid that is found in vinegar. No wonder vinegar has got a sharp, sour taste. We also have citric acid, which is found in lemons and oranges, and also grapes. So these are acids that we are able to consume. We also have lactic acid. It is found in dairy products such as milk and yogurt. So an acid is defined as a chemical substance. All right, the definition: an acid is a chemical substance. A chemical substance which when dissolved, ions as the only positive charged ions. So this is the definition of the term acids. An acid is a chemical substance. When you dissolve that chemical substance in water, it will produce hydrogen ions as the only positive charged ions. So when you dissolve an acid in water, it will produce hydrogen ions. Not only hydrogen ions, but these ions are positive. Is a charged particle. An ion is a charged particle. When we say charged particle, we simply mean it can either be positively charged or negatively charged. So when it comes to an acid will produce hydrogen ions that are positively charged. So when you dissolve an acid in water, it produces hydrogen ions which are positively charged. So this is the definition of an acid. An ion, this term ions, refers to a charged particle. It can either be positively charged or negatively charged. But for an acid, it produces hydrogen ions which are positively charged. What are the characteristics of acids? How do you know that this is an acid? Let's say, for example, you are in a lab. You've just found a substance. All acids have got a sour taste. You don't have to taste, no. But for those that are edible, those that we eat, they have a sour taste. No wonder we talked about vinegar having that sharp sour taste. Also, lemons and oranges, they have that sharp sour taste. So we identify that as a characteristics of an acid. They have a sour taste. Then acids are cohesive. Those acids that you, unlike those that we eat. So this is also a characteristic of an acid. Another characteristic of an acid is that acids are neutralized by bases. An acid will be neutralized by a base. So to neutralize is to make an acid not work. Not if it's cohesive, it will not be very cohesive. It will be neutralized. So as we'll be looking at bases, we will see how a base can neutralize an acid. It will no longer be dangerous. It will stop being dangerous if it is cohesive. So all acids are neutralized by a base. The last but not the least is that acids turn blue litmus paper red. So when school is open, you go back to class, you will be shown what a blue litmus paper looks like. It is blue in color. So when you just dip it in an acid, it will change from blue, it goes to red. So an acid turns blue litmus paper into red. That is also a characteristic of an acid. So like I said when we were starting, that in case you are in a lab, you don't know which substance is an acid, you can just dip in your blue litmus paper. If it turns red, then you know that that is an acid. So these are just some of the characteristics of acid. So for those acids that we eat, they have a sharp sour taste. I gave an example of the taste that we are able to get from oranges and lemons. Then those acids that we cannot eat, they are very cohesive, they are dangerous, they even burn the skin. An example of an acid which we cannot eat is sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid. Acids are neutralized by a base, so they are made less dangerous by a base. So when we'll be looking at bases, you will see how they are able to neutralize an acid. Then the last but not the least is that acids turn blue litmus paper red. So if you just dip into a substance and then the blue litmus paper turns into red, then you know that this is an acid. So these are the general characteristics of an acid. Let's look at the types of acids that we have now. The two major types of acids that we have. Two major types of acids that we have. The first type is mineral acids. Mineral acids are also called inorganic acids. Inorganic acids, they are prepared, obtained from the earth. They are prepared from an example of a mineral acid. An example of a mineral acid, the first one is hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid, it's a mineral acid, and this is a very strong acid. Hydrochloric acid has the symbol, we write hydrochloric acid as HCl. HCl, that is a symbol for hydrochloric acid. Then the second example we can have is sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid has a symbol H2SO4. It's a mineral acid. It is prepared from the minerals obtained from the earth. We also have nitric acid. Nitric acid is also prepared from the mineral. Organic acid is phosphoric acid. It is also obtained from the minerals extracted from the earth. So these are examples of inorganic acids. And when we continue with this topic, we've said these are prepared from the minerals obtained from the earth. The second type are known as organic acids. This is the second types of acids that we have. And just from the name organic acid, these are naturally occurring acids. They are just natural. They are obtained from plants. That's why we can find them. Naturally occurring acids. And their main source can be plants. They are just natural. So an example I'll give of organic acid is the first one that I mentioned, ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid, which has the symbol CH3COOH. This is how we write ethanoic acid. That is found in vinegar. That is one. We also have citric acid found in lemons. They are just natural. They are not made. They are just prepared from the minerals extracted from many organic matter such as plants. An example is ethanoic acids. And when it comes to organic acids, these are very weak acids. They cannot harm you. Unlike mineral. Ionization of forming ions with either positive or negatively charged is known as ionization. So now we are going to look at ionizations. So I'll give you a general positively charged hydrogen must be a positively charged ion. So we say it has ionized because it has formed ions. This is positively charged, this is negatively charged. Let's look at an example of a real acid. We'll start with hydrochloric acid. We write hydrochloric acid with the symbols HCl. So if we ionize hydrochloric acid, if we form ions of hydrochloric acid, the first thing that we're going to write is there should be a positively charged hydrogen ion. So this will be our positively charged ion H. What remains? We have chlorine. So our chlorine will be negative chlorine ion. So please don't forget, we've looked at hydrochloric acid. Let's look at nitric acid. After a reaction, the first that we'll have is we'll have a positively charged hydrogen ion. So this will be positive. Then we have nitrate, which is a O3, which will be. We have sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is written like this. Sulfuric acid. When we ionize sulfuric acid, we form ions. What will be left? Let's form ions. So as long as it remains easy while you are at home. Phosphoric. Not all acids are dangerous. Then we gave a definition of an acid. We said it's a chemical substance. When you dissolve it in water, it produces positively charged ions. No wonder when you are ionizing, make sure that there is a positively charged hydrogen. That is the definition for an acid. Then we gave the general characteristics of acids. We said acids have a sour taste. They have a sharp sour taste. When you eat lemons or oranges, you're able to feel that sharp sour taste. It's because lemons and oranges contain an acid in there, and the acid is citric acid. When you taste vinegar, it has got that sharp sour taste. It's because vinegar has got ethanoic acid. So acids that are not dangerous and you can taste them have got a sharp sour taste. The second, we said acids are cohesive. They are dangerous. They can burn you. An example of such acids is sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid. These are very dangerous acids. So these are cohesive. So it's a general characteristic of an acid. We also said acids are neutralized by a base. They can be made neutral, less dangerous by a base. So next time we'll be looking at bases. We'll see how a base can neutralize an acid. It can make an acid to be less dangerous. Examples of sulfuric acid can be made less dangerous. Then acids turn blue litmus paper into red. So when you open schools, there you'll be shown how a blue litmus paper looks like. So if you're in a lab and you're not sure which chemical you have, you can just put in a blue litmus paper. If it turns red, just know that that substance is an acid, and it should be handled with care. We looked at the types of acids. We said there are mineral acids, also called inorganic acids. We also have organic acids. We defined mineral acids as these acids that are prepared from the earth. They are prepared from the earth minerals. So examples, we mentioned of hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and phosphoric acids. These are mineral acids and they are strong acids. Then we talked about organic acids. These are naturally occurring and mostly are found in plants. We gave an example of ethanoic acid found in vinegar and citric acid. Those are mineral acids. Then the last one was how we ionize acids. How do we form ions in acids? Remember I said ions are charged particles. They can be positive or negative. But when you are ionizing acids, make sure that there is a positively charged hydrogen ion. So an example of nitric acid here, when you ionize, when you form ions, you find that you have a positive hydrogen and a negative nitrate. When we ionize sulfuric acid, here this is the hydrogen, so it will become positive, then the sulfate becomes negative. That's the way it is. So the general formula is that if this is our acid, when you ionize it, there should be a positive hydrogen topic. This is where our lesson ends for today. Thank you.
And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the life.
Our geographic expression.